Hey everybody, it's Linda Bartolucci with Ink Stamp and Scrap, and we are back for a Wednesday workshop. Thanks so much for being here. As you're coming in, please let me know that you're here. Say hi in the comments. Looking forward to sharing this all with you. We're going to get started in just a moment. I'm going to queue up the screens here. It's not quite 3 o'clock. Say hi in the chat. All right. I know it's a different time, so we're going to see how this works for everybody. If you're here on Team Replay, welcome. Really happy that you're here. Hey Sue, glad you're here. I'm just switching my cameras now. There we go. All right, let me bring the comments up. And there we go. All right. Hey Sue, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you got the notification. All right, and as I started to say, if you're here on Team Replay, welcome. Please leave a message in the comments that you're here and what you enjoyed about today's project. I'm really excited to share this with you. I've got a version that's already done to show you, and then we're going to create one together. Hey Nancy, I'm glad you were able to join us today too. All right, so I moved it to the afternoon for a few reasons, and I kind of wanted to explain. I am going to keep it here in the afternoon. It works just a lot better for our schedule, ours just being Bruce and I. But we have been having a lot of fun exploring and going to new places for dinner, and it always seems to be that friends want to go out on a Wednesday night. So it just made it easier to move it away from the night. It's totally a personal choice, nothing else. That's what I love about owning my own business. I can make these changes and we'll see how it goes. You can always catch these on the replay, and tomorrow's blog post will be a recap with all the pictures as well as a download with all the measurements and everything, just like last week's was. Let's see what else. Oh, and I also switched it to the day because I thought the lighting would be so much better in here. But today it is cloudy and rainy and not cooperating. So there you go. All right, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and change the cameras around a little bit and show you a little bit more about what we're going to do today, as well as some new products that I just unpackaged. I haven't even unwrapped all of them yet. We're going to do that together. So let's see if I can get this to work. If you are new to my channel, this is only like my 3rd week doing this software, so I am figuring it. Nope, wrong way. Wrong way. There we go. Right way. Okay. I'm going to make that smaller. Put it over here. And bigger. There we go. All right. So I'm still here. You can still see me, but now you can focus on the project and the products that we have here. So this is the project that we're doing today. This is a triangle trifold card. I've learned about it from another demonstrator named Jan, and I just thought it was really cool and fun to do, and it looks I love it when it looks complicated and it's really super simple. So as long as you download tomorrow's cheat sheet with the measurements, it's very, very easy to do. And you can do a lot with it. We're going to put a ribbon closure around the one that we're going to make today. So that makes things a lot easier. There's really no limit to what you can do. You can certainly color the inside. I just decided to leave it black and white, and we're going to do that again on the one that we're making today. So this is today's project. We're going to use the hand-penned bundle, which is not only all these dies, but also these beautiful acrylic stamps. We've actually used this on another Wednesday workshop before, and then I just wanted to point out that you can download this designer series paper color guide from my website. I will be sure to link it in the notes below, as well as put it on my direct link to it on my blog post. But this is what I use when I grab designer series paper to remind me exactly what colors are in there. So there is that. Couple pieces of housekeeping. Wanted to let you know that the winners last week were Nancy Cornell and Kathy Kelly. So they will be getting a gift in the mail. And then the way they earned their prize, and you can earn yours, is if you leave comments in the chat and just say hi, ask questions, whatever. Yeah, so a lot of people are using this right now. It's really awesome. So leave me a comment in the chat. If you leave me a shared comment, I super appreciate it. You just click that little share with the swoop arrow, and you're sharing what I'm doing right here, which helps the channel. If you give me a like with a thumbs up, where's my thumb? There we go, with a thumbs up on YouTube, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. That helps a lot too. I really appreciate it. So the two winners are going to be drawn going forward from the live team and team replay. So if you're on team replay, leave a comment, make sure you do that. And if you're here live, make sure that you say hello, ask me questions, whatever you'd like to know. Certainly recommendations for future projects. If there's things that you've seen or products that you'd like to see demonstrated, just let me know. And if I can accommodate you, I definitely will. All right, let's do the new products first, and then we'll get to today's project. All right, so the new stuff, it's just a couple of things. Oh, I didn't grab, wait, hang on, there's one more. Oh, there he is. Okay. I'm not going to get the punch that goes with this because it's a little farther away, but it's a cute turtle punch that actually punches this part out. But I got the Turtle Friends stamp set. I actually made a couple cards with it. These will end up going up on my blog eventually, but there we go. 1 and 2. So lots of fun with this. There's so many things you can do with it. It doesn't even have to necessarily be a turtle card. You've got a bird that you can work with, and you've got this little party hat. I love that it has the hello little one. I have a few friends who are having grandkids for the first time, and other friends of friends who are pregnant for the first time. So I'm looking forward to using this for not only birthdays and just like the you are turtly loved can just go to anybody. And there's forever friends as well. Time to celebrate. So I think it's a good all-purpose, pick me up, happy kind of stamp set to have. And I just loved that it also had a punch to go with it. Just makes it easy to use. Stampin' Up! Has a new set of masks. And as you can see on this card, that's how I got the background to work. So I just used a blending brush and this mask, and that's how I made the background. And then there's also this, let me grab, what do I want? I want some white paper. And I just so happen to have some. All right, there we go. So there's this mask. That's what I used on the card that I just showed you. Not sure why I'm umming so much today. Guess I've got a lot going on in the mind. Then there's these 4 that you can layer on top of each other and make really cool designs. They kind of coordinate together, and they also are great as centerpieces on their own. There's these beautiful little, they're not really tulips, but they're just cute little flowers that you can make as kind of a nice background for a card. And then last but not least is just this basic background, but you could definitely use this if you, for example, used your blending brush and did it all over here and then changed your color and shifted it a little bit. It would give you a really nice effect. I'm only here till 3:30, but I found you. Oh, thanks, Alice. I'm glad you're here till 3:30. We'll try to get as much of the project done as possible. Let's see. I'm on the clock. I got 20 minutes. Well, I'll definitely be able to show you the finished product one more time before you scoot at 3:30. We're going through what I just got in the mail. So these were 2 die sets that I really wanted to get. This is more of a practical one. This is the tailored tags, and it has all these great little circles and then clips to put on your tag to use. You can see that this has the oval little tag there, and then this you can punch out or die cut out. There we go. You could die cut out to go over this, and these 3, if you look carefully, are different shapes. Let me hold this closer to the, first let me get the white behind it to make it easier for you to see. It's not great in the light, but you can see that all 3 of them are a little bit different. They're just different at the top, how narrow or wide the rounding at the top is. So you really can get different things. You can actually get 3 different tops from that. All right, so this was one because who doesn't love a good tag, and it just makes life easy when you're doing greetings to have these. And you can make lots and lots of these at once. What size is the biggest tag? Let's see. Let's answer that one. Let me grab this. So the biggest tag is 4 inches tall by 2 inches wide. That's the very biggest one here. And then the very biggest one here looks like it's also 4 inches, but I think it's a little bit narrower. Yeah, so it's 4 inches from the base to the top of the rounding, but it's 1 3/4 inches wide. All right, there we go. So this is, like I said, this is more, I do believe this is part of a bundle, but I just didn't feel like getting the stamp set. I really just wanted all these tags. I've been seeing them everywhere, and I just was getting jealous, so I got them. All right, and then this is going to be a future Wednesday workshop. Now, I already picked the project for next week. We're doing a card in a box, and it's going to have a get well theme, just in case you are in need of something like that. But this, I'm going to have to do some studying, so I can't tell you exactly how this all goes together right now. But what I can tell you is the purpose of it, actually it makes more sense if I turn it this way, even though things are upside down, is that this is, well, here, do it this way. What this piece does is it makes a layer where you have a circle sticking out here and you're spinning it and objects are coming into view up here in a window. So this is the Give It a Whirl die set. And there's just so much that I just thought was wonderful because you've got lots of arrows, which I've always wanted, and a bunch of stitched hearts, which is totally cool because I missed that the stitched hearts dies got retired. And then we have these clouds, which are going to be so fun, and the stars. And so there's a lot of practical dies in with this, and it also gives you a way to make a movement card. So I liked all of that. And we will spend an entire Wednesday workshop focused just on this die set in the very near future. All right. On a personal note, I am definitely around for the next several Wednesdays. Then when we get to the fall, that's when Bruce and I are going to start traveling again. So you can count on the Wednesday workshop, and you can also just go to my Ink Stamp and Scrap YouTube channel and see how far out I've scheduled them, or if you're a fan of my Facebook page, you can also see events where they've been scheduled, and the link to the YouTube video is already available. So hopefully that will keep you in sync and in touch with me. All right, so let me show you again. Oh, I moved it over here. All right, and I need this. Okay, let me show you again. This is the card that we're doing today, and it flips like that. So you start this way, and it flips this way. Plenty of room to write your greeting and all that good stuff. And then what I want to show you is how all the layers go together. Here we go. All right. So starting with, you do not need to take notes. If you want to, not stopping you, but I'm telling you there'll be a download tomorrow. The blog post is almost finished. I just got to take pictures of the finished cards and we're good to go. So you're going to make 2 card bases, and they're going to be 10 1/4 by 4, 10 1/4 by 4. And then you score them at 5 1/2, and then you mark, it's kind of hard, I wrote on the wrong one, but you mark at 6 1/4. But I'll show you how that part works. We're going to do that together. Then your layers, I'm going to start from the bottom. So you have 2 of these, and they lay together on this part. And then this goes on top here. This is the inside mat. It's 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then this is the inside layer, and this is where the stamping is on the one that I just showed you. Then this comes in to make half the front of the card, and you have a mat that is 3 3/4 square. And then I'm using designer series paper, and that's how I identified it in the recipe for this project, but you could definitely use a stamped image if you wanted to. And then on the top and the bottom, or the sides, the way you're looking at this now, you're going to put a piece of designer series paper that's 3 3/4 by 1/2 inch wide, and there's going to be a matching one over here. So this guy is over here on the other card base. And then just don't make your focus image or whatever your centerpiece is going to be, don't make it a lot bigger than 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, because otherwise when the card is closed, you really won't see any of your designer series paper. So as you can see here, this is the part that's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And you really, if I made this much bigger than this, you really lose the effect of the designer series paper. So this is really as big as you want it. This is much smaller, which is fine. You just want to have enough to be able to attach the bottom right corner to this side. That's all that matters. And then you can open up. So it's bottom right corner where the attachment goes, and then bottom right corner where you stamp on the inside, or wherever you want. But that's the way it's going to twist and turn. All right, so let's put the card base together so you can see how this is all coming together, and then we'll start stamping and decorating. Does anybody have any questions? What size the biggest tag is? The less one there. So we're good. We must be good. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is, here's all the cut cards ready to go. I'm going to move the layers aside, and I'm going to start with the card base. So you can see these are 10 1/4 by 4, and I haven't cut or scored or anything yet. So the first thing I'm going to use is my scoring tool, because I find this easier when I need to score and mark, which we need to do today. So where is my pencil? Okay, so we are going to score at 5 1/2, which automatically makes one side shorter and one side wider, or narrower and wider. And then we're going to take a pencil and we're going to mark at 6 1/4. And just a little mark, one that you can erase when you're done. I'm going to do the same thing on the other one, just so we're doing one step at a time. But you could actually, once you get going, when I started making these, I started doing everything to one piece of the card base at once. And you'll see what I mean in just a minute, because you have an extra step to do. So I started doing this step at the same time. The next step that you want to do is you need to score from this mark to this corner, and you just kind of let this sit up on the top. It's okay. So you want to just make sure you're lined up. I happen to have taken a red permanent marker and marked down the 5 1/2 line. It is a good idea, if you're using this tool or any tool like it, I would think, to just mark yourself one line, because you're going to end up doing stuff like this. You're going to end up making diagonal lines, and this just makes it a lot easier to do. So what you're going to do to make this diagonal work and not have any wrinkling of your paper or crunching up on the corner is you're going to start about a 1/4 inch below that mark, and you're going to kind of gently push up and make sure that you're in the groove. And then you'll feel the line and you'll just follow it down. So what I like to do is I like to do that with the narrow piece, and then I flip it over and I score it one more time with the wider piece, because the wider piece is going to give you a deeper score as well, but I just want to make sure I get going with that smaller one. So let's do that again on this one. So I'm going to line up my mark and my corner down here. Get up a little higher. My mark and my corner. There we go. I'm going to take the shorter end, and I'm going to start about a 1/4 inch down and just, actually it's a little off. There we go, that's better. And I'm just going to kind of get into it there. There we go. And I'm going to come down, and I'm not really pushing very hard. And now I'm going to come back, now that I got the line and everything is good, I'm going to come back with the wider side and just trace over it again. So now we have the base for our card. I can take this away. I'm going to erase my 2 lines, or my 2 marks. Okay. And sorry, my head kind of goes in crazy places on this one. All right, and now we're going to use a bone folder and get this primed and ready to go. So you're going to flip this over, and then this is gonna fold in. And there's no rhyme or reason to why I picked one side to be the right and one side to be the left. It really doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you're folding them the correct way. One's going to fold in and back, and one's going to fold, and the other's going to fold the other way. I just find it easier to like half assemble or just match up the card the way it's going to ultimately be put together when I'm doing when I'm burnishing the lines with my, or the score lines with my bone folder. There we go. All right, so now you can start to see, I'm gonna just stack this. There's the basis for our card. So it kind of comes apart like this. All right, so now we want to use some liquid glue to put this part together, and then we're gonna set it aside and start working on the other pieces. So I'm going to put liquid glue on the back of this one. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Appreciate that. All right, now this is going to go down. And I'm just going to bring them together. Oops. It's a little dry here today, so this is drying quickly. Not getting as much move as I want. Okay. For once, it's not that humid here. At least inside it's not. All right. Okay, there we go. So now I have the base for my card. And I'm able to move it back and forth. There we go. Okay, that's the start. I'm gonna close up my glue and keep going. So the second step that I'm gonna do is get my stamping done. So I'm gonna stamp, there's our stack of layers. I'm gonna pull this one out, which is the one that goes inside. And then I'm gonna grab a scrap, which I thought I had, but I don't seem to see it here. I cut it, I just didn't bring it over. And this is gonna be what we're gonna use for our focus point on the front of the card. So let me get my stamp mat. We're gonna set this aside. And I'm gonna do these two. And where's that piece of paper? Ugh, it's not a good Wednesday unless I lose something, right? I was doing so well too. All right, well, I'm just gonna grab that one. Okay, so I need this. Oh, I can do that. So you don't, I don't know, I get annoyed when I'm looking at a video and somebody leaves something upside down the whole time. So that's why I turned that around. Anyway, here we go. So I am gonna take my Memento ink pad and I am going to ink up the flower that we're gonna use for both the front and the back. Or the front and the inside, sorry. And I usually just leave it on a table and do this, but that's gonna shake the camera a lot. So today I'm gonna do it this way. I think I still shook the camera because my head just bumped into it. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna set that aside, let it dry. And then we're going to stamp that again. Oh, and I got ink all over my fingers. How fabulous is that? All right. Okay. And just make sure it fits because we are ultimately going to die cut this. There we go. All right, cool. Set that aside. It seems like the ink is dry. All right, so now we're gonna stamp the inside of our flower. So what I'm gonna do is, since we're using this designer series paper right here for, oh, that's upside down too, for the pops of color, I'm gonna make sure that my stamps match those. So I have mint macaron for my leaves, so we'll do that first. Here, it's the big leaf. Oh, I know what I forgot to grab, but I can get it real quick. All right, so this is gonna go here and here and here. And then we're gonna grab, I need a scrap. We'll just use the sky. The nice thing is that's a straight line there. So to get that other leaf, you can just put this right here, which is so handy. And then you just turn this way. And you're able to get that leaf, which is very handy. All right, so that's the leaf. I'm gonna close this up. Now we're gonna do that big flower, and that is gonna be in Highland Heather because that's the colored cardstock that I'm using. So I want the biggest flower to be in the color that we're using the most. So I'm gonna take this big flower, put it on my acrylic block, ink it up, test it. Okay, looks good. So now that is gonna go right there. Okay, there we go. Now, I know you're kind of like, oh, there's some white space. I'm gonna take care of that. And then the last thing we're gonna do is take the bigger flower, which I don't know if it's this one. I think that, no, that's definitely not that one. So it's this guy, the medium-sized one. Yeah, it's the medium-sized one. And that we're gonna do in Daffodil. All right. If you're on my email list, I hope you took a moment to open the one that I sent this morning. There is a tutorial in there that uses the hand pen stamp set. Totally different card than what we're doing today. Just something to take a peek at. All right, so this is going to coordinate nicely with our designer series paper, but it needs a little bit more for the leaves and whatnot. I need to grab, yeah, I don't mind white space either. I like it, but I want to just show you that you can fill it in. So if you want to, what you can do is you can take the Stampin' Blends that are the same color as the ink that we used and just go right down here to finish off the stems. And I just like it a little bit just to add, I feel like the leaves are just kind of floating out there unless you do that. So I just grabbed my light mint macaron and I'm done with that. The other thing that you could do is I've seen a lot of people take an eraser bottom and give the middle of that flower a little bit of love too. But today, we're just gonna leave it like that. So now I'm gonna quickly hop over to my die cutting machine, which is just to my right, and I'm gonna run this through so that we have something to add to our card. So I'm just gonna cut it just like that. And while I'm doing this, why don't you guys let me know what you have been creating lately? If you're watching on Team Replay, I'd love to hear in the comments what you've been creating lately. And there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mat this on a label that I cut from the Sweetly Stitched dies that are still available. These used to be in a bundle, but now they're just standalone. Just gives us a few more labels to work with. So I'm just going to twist that a little bit, use some dimensionals, and pop that up. Flip this over. And really, once you get the inside of this card stamped, you get your card base made, then you get the inside done. If you've already pre-cut all your layers, you're gonna be really happy to see how fast this goes together. I'm gonna put one here and one. Oh, I think we have to say goodbye to Alice pretty soon. But I've been doing an old, the drapery cards. I remember those. Those were fun. That was a lot of folding though. It really was. They are gorgeous, but quite a bit of folding. All right. And yes, there are really nice greetings in the hand penned. I love the font of the thank you, but I'm in need of some note cards. So I'm selfishly not going to put a greeting on this so that I can use it for just a note card. All right. So now I'm going to twist this, and there we go. And now I'm going to show you how to finish off the card. So I'm just going to set these aside. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my regular paper trimmer because that's the thing we need to finish this off. All right. Oh, I don't need... Oh, and I found that piece of paper. It was hiding under the trimmer. Okay, so what you're going to do now, I've got these extras, is you're going to take the two squares, the 3 3/4 inch square and the 3 1/2 inch square, and before you put them together, like we would normally just mat like that, we're going to cut each of these similarly to the way we scored the card base. We're going to do corner to corner to get a diagonal cut. I want to make sure this is facing the right way. It is. This is one of those papers that it matters. And now I'm going to just cut this, putting each corner in the well. I'm going to move my cutting blade to the middle because, again, just like scoring, it'll smush the corners if you start on the top and pull it down. It's not guaranteed that it's going to do it, but it will happen. So, yeah, graduation and anniversary cards and happy having a baby cards. All right, and then we're going to do that on the mat for that too. So this is the 3 3/4 inch square, and I'm putting the blade in the middle of that again and just going back and forth. It just makes sure that you get a really nice cut. And I don't think we need this for anything else. I'm going to set it aside. All right, so let's finish this off. I'm really excited. I got some new backdrops coming. I was getting a little tired of this, and the company I get them from had a good sale, so we're set. Bingo. Okay, so for putting the mats together, I'm just going to use my dry Stampin' Seal. You could certainly use the liquid glue again, but I never know with the Florida humidity. It's not that humid in the house right now, but sometimes when I use designer series paper, it doesn't go down as smooth as using a dry adhesive. So there's that one. And then we're going to do the same with this one. And here's my little trick for putting the seal in the corner. I don't care if I get extra there. So I just put the corners on here, and then I make sure that I have a bunch of seal, on the corner. All right. That one just wants to fly around. Okay. I keep looking up just to make sure that my head's not in the camera over the project so you can't see it. All right, there we go. So now we have our two triangles, and they go back together like this, and that's the right direction. Okay, so I just want to make sure that's that way. And now I'm ready to put the the whole card together. So let's pull our base back in. The first thing I'm going to do is take the mat, the Highland Heather mat, and put seal on that, Stampin' Seal. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Sue. Every once in a while something works for me, so I like to share it. All right. Here we go. Okay, so that's all lined up in the middle, so that gives us a pop of color there. Then we're going to take the piece that we stamped, and we're going to also use our Stampin' Seal for that. All right, here we go. All right, so now the base is together, and you can kind of see how this is coming together. I'm going to put the 2 triangles on now. Oh wait, time out. No, I'm going to do the ribbon first. I had to think about that. I want to do, no, I'm going to do this first and then the ribbon and then, okay. You just have to make sure you put the ribbon on at the right time if you're going to use a ribbon closure. All right, so I want this way. All right, so this is going to go this way. I'm going to do the top one first. And I'm going to bring this one in to get my corners. All right, so this, I'm gonna have to pick this up to get it a little closer to my eyes. So this goes right here, just like this. Okay, and then we're gonna do the other side. Oh, I really hope I did that right. Oh, I didn't. Ah. Is it gonna, oh, it's gonna peel right off. Wow, I can't believe it's gonna peel right off. If it wasn't being so friendly today, I would grab some dental floss and go underneath, but it worked. Okay, so I want this. I want it to open. This is the one part, so no. I want it to open. So it's this way and it twists this way. Okay, so this is the top. This is the only confusing part. And so you'll be alone in your craft room when you try and do this, so you won't have an audience that's thinking that you're crazy. All right, here we go. And this time I can use the corners here. I can use it on this to get my corners because this is where the layer is gonna go. So then this one goes here and then everything lines up, which is fabulous. Okay. Oop. There we go. All right. So now, nope. We have it this way and it opens like that. Okay, so this is the top. So when somebody opens the card, when you put it in the envelope, it's going to go in the envelope like this. When they take it out and look at it, they're going to go like this and it's going to flip for them. They might naturally turn it like this, but they'll get the idea. All right. So that means that we are going to put our piece, I want it to open like this. I guess I did do it a little bit backwards. All right. But that's okay. All right, so now we're gonna add this one, and the way I'm gonna add that is with a little bit of liquid glue. So I'm just gonna put liquid glue. I'm trying to look and see. So I'm gonna put liquid glue. Oh, ribbon first. That's right. 20 inches of ribbon. Here we go. This is from the A Flower for Every Season bundle. There's a combo bundle of ribbon. All right, because we want to be able to close this up. So actually you don't do that first. The first thing we're going to do, I folded this in half. I'm going to take my card in the closed position, and with that middle right there that I had between my fingers, I'm going to pull this and set it down. And now this is in the middle of the card, and right here I'm going to put my finger down, flip this back over, put just a little bit of seal, and now it's set there. And then what I'm going to do, I guess I'm going to attach it. Oh yeah, because I want this to be able to, okay, so then this is going to be the side that I'm going to attach. I'm going to attach the top. All right, so I want the glue right here. And then while we put the gems on, this will be able to dry. Or it should get pretty dry. All right. I want to make sure it goes up enough. Over in the middle. Okay, so it can still pull, the ribbon can untie, and then to finish it off, we're going to tie a bow right here. Then I'll trim off my ends. All right, so a little more complicated than we've done in the past, but I thought it was really fun to try. I'm going to tie my bow just like this. This is why I like my bow maker, but for this one, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm just going to tie a bow here. And again, 20 inches seemed like a good amount. I'm not struggling with my fingers trying to get this to work. So I'm going to pull it a little bit here and a little bit here. I don't want to trim off very much because I'm going to show you how to open this, and then I want to be able to tie it right back up. So I'm just going to trim this a little because with the looping and all, it made one flag just a little bit longer than the other. But if you're going to use the 20 inches, which is what it says in the recipe, don't trim off too much to make it even. I just took about 1.25 inches off, and that was it. All right, so I'm going to let this dry for a second. I'm going to open up my Genial Gems, which coincidentally have mint macaron and pale papaya in them. And I'm going to add a few of the mint macaron ones to this card. So I'm going to take a big one and put it, oh, actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a big one here. I'm actually going to put a big one right in the middle of the flower. And then we'll take a couple of little ones and put them over here and down here. All right, there we go. So there's a little bit of pop, a little bling that you can see in here. There we go. Oh, I didn't put the, did you decide on using glue or tape for which one, Nancy? I'm actually using, I used glue for attaching the focal point. First of all, it holds better and it gives me a little chance to move it if I need to. And I use Stampin' Seal for all the straight layers. You could mat these 2 pieces of designer series paper. I just felt like that was pretty busy, and you only have 3/4 of an inch here. So you're into 1/8 inch measuring if you're going to mat. And then these mats are different, and I don't know, I just decided I didn't want to do a lot of 1/8 today. So I left these unmatted, and it made it possible. All right, so there we go. That looks better. Okay. Not quite so much white space. All right, there we go. So now this is set up. So if I untie this to open up the card, this will fall away. It won't completely come off the card because I have my snail under there, or my seal under there. And then I can pull this, right? Oh, pull it this way. So I can pull this one down. I think I would use one of those arrows from that new die set And there we go. So I actually do think this is the wrong way, and I'll have to add a little bit to it to make it the right way. But I will show you the one that I made. There we go. I put it on I attach it to the top because of the way I did the ribbon. Anyway, the right way to do it is to put it on the bottom right, pull, and there we go. This is why it's so much easier to make in the privacy of your own crafting and not on camera. But there we go. And this one, just so you know, I did not use any glue on the Misty Moonlight cardstock. I actually ran this through with a piece of multi-purpose sticker paper on the other side, and that way I just peeled off the sticker paper and set it down. The bonus of using the sticker paper on the more detailed one is it pulls all the little bits out with it when you take off the backing. So that's a little bonus tip when you're using some of the more detailed dies that we have. All right, so thank you so much for watching today. This is the card that we made. This is the preview card. I will be back next Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time to share another project with you. And I can't wait to see what you guys make this week. Have a great week.